What's good? Welcome back to another episode of Where the Money At. Now we on episode 21, and I'm super excited about this one because today we're talking about my top 5 favorite cryptos at the moment. Then we're gonna go through a little bit of Bitcoin price action, and then we're gonna talk about, a couple blockchain stocks, a couple things in the crypto world that are not necessarily the actual cryptocurrency projects, but the stocks and companies themselves. So let's get right into it. Let me share my screen. And if we look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, Bitcoin's flirting around $30,000. We've come down from that large pump from the good news from the SEC's Ripple case. Ethereum sitting around 1900. Ripple has pretty much stayed up and kept its gains and stayed around 78 cents. But everything is pretty much back to the status quo. If we want to dive a little deeper into the price action here, we're in a current range of a price between about 29,000 and 31,000. We've been bumping up and down, and it looks like it's trying to test it to see if we can break 30,000 and stay below there and take another leg down, or we will continue to range and stay in here. If we want to look at some indicators, one that I have been experimenting with is the 200 EMA, exponential moving average. And just based off the daily, from what I see, as long as the price is above the EMA, is pretty strong, and once it's below, it's pretty strong. So, whatever side is leaning to, that's where you want to be on. And it's looking like we're on the top of it, so we could stay for some higher price action, but we could test it because it's actually getting pretty close. When it goes under, it dips pretty hard. It dipped around June 2021 and December 2021. Once it got under there, it stayed there for a while. So we're going to see what happens with that. But, it's not necessarily about the day-to-day price action, but, it adds a little more entertainment. One tool we'll be using today for the first time is Crypto Slam. Full credit, I got this from Jerry Banfield's crypto channel. But let's get into my top 5 cryptocurrencies, and we're going to start off. You've probably watched a million of these, but we're going to start off and we're going to kick it off with Bitcoin. I'll tell you some pros and some pros and some cons I don't like about it. It's the first mover advantage. This is the granddaddy of cryptocurrency right now. We have a finite amount, which I love that, and it's powered by the Bitcoin network. We have a million financial products that are being created from this. So we have the ProShares ETFs, Wisdom Tree, and of course you've heard about the BlackRock, Fidelities. There's more of these coming. And as long as that exists, Bitcoin will be fine. It's not going anywhere. And actually, Bitcoin needs to be mined to keep the system up, which all mining is computing power put towards Bitcoin. And there are entire companies dedicated to mining Bitcoin. And these companies have went public. So if you didn't know, like, you can invest in Bitcoin in ways other than getting directly into just Bitcoin itself, the cryptocurrency. You can get into Riot Platforms, which is a Bitcoin mining company, which has a $3.2 billion valuation. Cypher Mining, Hut 8 Mining. These are not small companies, 1.1 billion, 840 million. So as long as things like this exist and there's money going everywhere and there's transactions, Bitcoin is not going anywhere. Why do I have this? So here's something I don't like about Bitcoin, and you have to be objective about everything you're in. It has an unknown creator, Satoshi Nakamoto. It could be a group of people, but everything that I just talked about, those companies that are private, Bitcoin itself, the transaction, the money that's made, it's based off of something that we don't know who created it. So if this person or group of people decides to shut it down tomorrow, it could all go away. And then you start to feel a little crazy about why you invested in it. But you can never forget that undeniable truth. But if we go to Crypto Slam, here's another pro for Bitcoin. There's about $1.1 million in NFT sales in the last 24 hours. So things are being built up on it. Applications are being built up on it. That's why Bitcoin is my number one, and I feel like it's one of the safest plays. Next, number 2, we'll get into Ethereum. Why do I like Ethereum? It's because it's the top dog of blockchains that has an amazing technology stack that so many things are built off of. NFTs are built on Ethereum to where there's money going in and out from the transaction of those. There's so many developers that dedicate themselves or contribute to the Ethereum blockchain. If you just go to LinkedIn, people with Ethereum in their names, they could just have it there. But it does show that people are dedicating their time to Ethereum. And I like how the companies ran. and there's games that could be built off of it. But one of the top things I'm looking at is NFT revenue. If you go to OpenSea, you know it's pretty much dominates OpenSea. But it's done $12 million, $12.3 million in the last 24 hours. Something like that, doing that kind of volume doesn't just go away. And this is why I feel like Bitcoin and Ethereum are pretty much the top two blue chips or big dogs of the cryptocurrency space, and they're probably your safest bet. You may not get the best returns, but they are your safest bets. Now from this point on, the list gets a little dicey. My number 3 is going to be BNB. Now, I understand everything that they're going through. One of the cons is they have legal issues going on right now. If they make it past those, I believe BNB is one of the most solid coins, one of the most solid projects, because strictly off of this one point, and this is the main point, it's the token of Binance, which has done $4 billion in the last 24 hours. They have done so much for the space. Onboarding has the top amount of volume. Nobody's messing with Binance. I mean, if they do and it comes down, it will be tremendous and it will shock the market. But, you know, life goes on. Companies come up and companies die. So we'll see. And we already, oh yeah, they have almost $1 million done in NFT sales as well. So with that being said, that'll be number 3. Number 4, Solana. One thing that I don't like about Solana is this right here, the infinite supply, but it is supposed to be deflationary. Same thing with Ethereum. It's supposed to be deflationary, but there is an infinite amount. I don't care for that, and that's something I'm always watching out for. But why do I like Solana? It's one of the largest seeding rounds we've ever seen, period. You know what I'm saying? They raised $315 million. They were caught up in one of these large seed investors was Alameda Research, which we know was caught up with FTX and basically the sister company to that. So a lot of exposure. I mean, people are worried about the exposure they have. So we'll see how that plays out. But other things I like about them is they have a phone product. The one of the co-founders started off in telecommunications, which is why he's branching off into this. So it could be a good thing or a bad thing. We don't know yet. They could be spreading their attention too thin, or they could be revolutionizing and getting into crypto phones and having mobile wallets already installed on those phones. But let's get into NFT sales. I like the fact that they're doing over $1 million a day in NFT sales. And that's my biggest point, because it's all about the money at the end of the day, and it's all about the transactions. And they have 1 million applications being built on their blockchain and games like Star Atlas. We don't know how good Star Atlas is going to be because, you know, games take forever to be made, but this game is built on Solana. So those are some things I like about it. And we'll move on to the last one. Well, this last one's kind of iffy. You know, this last one could have went a bunch of ways, but I went ahead and gave the number 5 spot to Chainlink. Now, one of the biggest things I do not like about Chainlink is half the tokens have not been released yet, and y'all know I hate that. I can't stand that. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? That's how a lot of these coins are built. A lot of these wallets have, a lot of these seed investors have a big bag that they're ready to dump whenever they reach all-time highs. It's kind of how we got to deal with it. Imagine if we saw the wallets of traditional stocks and who held those. But why I like Chainlink is I like the problem that they're tackling with oracles. So oracles is basically the link between the blockchain technology and the real world data. So let's say we want to put baseball stats from the MLB on the blockchain. We'll need to have an intermediary to put that real life data onto the blockchain, and those are called oracles, and that's what they're working on. So I really like that. The team is doxed. They have a large amount of employees on LinkedIn. And I like all projects whose teams are docked. And the CEO is pretty visible. You can hear him and listen to him talk. I need to actually listen to more of them myself. But yeah, so those are my top 5 cryptocurrencies. Just the safest to the most risky going down: Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Solana, Chainlink. None of this is financial advice, but the last thing I want to tackle before we wrap it up is just this link right here, a tab called blockchain stocks. We got Coinbase at a $19 billion valuation. Riot Platforms, almost $3.3 billion. Marathon Cipher, 2.8 billion, 1.1 billion. Look, the area for Bitcoin to grow is just getting massive, because now there's complete separate companies that have nothing to do necessarily with the crypto space and the volatility of the market, but they run just as well. So it may be a good idea to look at these stocks during the bull run to see how well they perform. But this is actually absolutely amazing. Not all these companies are miners or blockchain companies. There's companies like IBM who are established and are big dogs in the tech space and have blockchain sector to their company now. You know what I'm saying? So people are taking notice, and we should too, and we should keep up with the information we're getting so we can make the best possible decisions. And with that said, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I'm gonna holler at y'all later.